The following is a Northern State podcasting production.
It's time for the podcast that promises to catch you up on all the news and notes from the Seattle sports scene in 40 minutes or less. It's time for Rain City Sports.
Welcome back to the Fair Weather Friends podcast. As always, I'm Veg. And back on my left side
it is me,
Ricky Reyes.
We're on an it's me basis.
Oh,
me and the audience.
So I don't need to keep saying, as always, I'm Veg?
No, they need that for comfort, but they know it's me.
We recorded a podcast with Jared Johnson. Not a super uncommon thing. But we actually did it as kind of a joint.
Yeah, extended, if you will.
We did it as the first hour or so is a Rain City Sports podcast for him / us.
Mostly Seattle centric sports talk.
So if you've heard us mention it before, he does Rain City Sports, which is sports Pacific Northwest, really just Washington State sports.
We didn't even really get into college.
No.
Mostly just professional.
Yeah, totally. After the podcast, he was like, oh yeah, should have mentioned the Huskies and Cougars. Oh well. But yeah, so you'll hear him do his intro and us talk for a while, and then it'll have our blowing up break as usual. And then we kind of kept talking for another 30 minutes on random topics. I think we ended up talking movies mostly.
Yeah.
And then we wanted to mention, because we've never actually brought it up on the podcast, if you've listened to these, which most of you have probably only listened to a few, if any at all. Although I guess if you haven't at all, then you're not listening to this either. Shame on you. We always edit in a little clip from something into our intro music. Most often I make you choose, Ricky.
It's probably the funnest part.
It is. It's a chance for us to be a little different. We haven't really come up with a good format for our show as far as having like regular bits or anything. We've tried a few.
It's been fun.
But we're really inconsistent on our podcast. Mostly just random conversations, and sometimes we do bits, sometimes we don't. Sometimes we have guests, sometimes we don't. Lately, mostly we don't. But the clip we recorded in the intro, it usually is something that the guest chose or is related to what we talked about.
Yeah, it generally has something to do with the episode.
Yeah, and so we would love it if people gave us feedback on if they know what the clip actually is from, what it is.
I did mention that I would give whoever guessed it a lollipop.
You did on next episode. We've done a lot of recording today. I'm not going to vouch for the lollipop. That's between whoever guesses it right and Ricky. I'm out. I'm washing my hands of that whole situation. Free hat. But yeah, let us know if you know what that's from. And we'll let you know if you're right. Maybe we'll just let people know anyway.
Lollipop.
Just thought it's something we should throw out there. I don't know if anyone was ever curious about why every intro was a little bit different. But so yeah, we're going to jump into the next thing you'll hear is, I guess it'll be Jared doing his intro for Rain City Sports.
This one was a giveaway, so no lollipop for this one.
Yeah. So the clip we edited into our intro on this one, the music, was literally his intro without his music. Him just doing the explanation of his podcast, and then right when his music would normally cut in, it went back to ours, which you heard all that. So yeah, no lollipop for this one. If you figure out the next week's episode, which is an NBA preview episode, then I
guess that nobody's going to listen to that, so
probably not.
Pretty good chance of keeping my lollipop.
There's a reason we stopped doing NBA after 4 episodes. Everyone was like, I would listen, but I don't really like the NBA. So we decided for business purposes, because we're doing this purely to make money. As usual,
this isn't fun at all.
Everything in our lives, we're failing at that. Yeah, we don't actually enjoy this. This is a job. I would say a 9 to 5, but we really spend about 2 hours every 2 weeks or so. No,
more about 1 to 3.
1 to 3, 1 day a week, if that. We've kind of gotten back into doing it. I want to try to see if we can get a guest for our next one. I mean, the one after our next one.
Our next actual episode.
Yeah. Next week's is just us and Jared again, which is fine. We talked NBA, and as usual, it went way longer than expected. But I think that's all we need to explain. Without further ado, the next thing you should hear is Jared's Rain City Sports welcoming us to Rain City Sports, or I forget what he says exactly.
Something about welcome.
Yeah, you'll hear him, and he'll introduce us as his guests, and then we'll start talking some Seahawks and stuff. All right.
Enjoy.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Rain City Sports. I'm your host, Jared Johnson, and today we have a couple of guest hosts. Joining me again is Matt Vag.
You can just call us guests.
Yeah. Guest hosts, though. You guys are.
I feel a responsibility when you say host.
Special guest.
I don't want to have any responsibility.
And then joining us also is Ricky Reyes, the man, the myth, the legend.
Ooh. Yes. I don't even give you that much respect on our podcast.
They join us from Fairweather Friends podcast. You can check that out.
Everyone knows that by now. Come on.
Yeah, I would think so, but you never know. Could get new people.
No, nobody knows that.
I mean, I think I advertise for you guys just about every time, so.
You're a good man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, every time I do the podcast, which is not as much as I'd like to at this point. But I got a lot to talk about because I haven't done the show in 3 weeks, 2 weeks. I don't know.
But is there a lot to talk about?
I feel like there
Pretty
is.
busy sports season there now.
Yeah.
Well, there's a ton of sports going on, but there's only 2 Seattle teams that are actually involved in any of them. Unless we have college football too. I guess so. 4.
Yeah, but we can talk about the national views too, like MLB playoffs going on right now.
As usual, no Mariners.
WNBA playoffs going on.
Finals about to end. Is that tonight?
As usual, no storm.
Yeah, no storm in the
that's
finals.
true. Yeah,
They were last year when we did the...
They won last year, didn't they?
I think
Yeah.
they did.
They still made the playoffs this year, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
they did.
But there was no Sobird and no
And no Stewart.
Stewart, who was the MVP last year, right?
Yeah. Okay, well, anyways, let's jump into it, I guess. You guys want to start Seahawks, Mariners? What do you want to do?
You had a pretty good Mariners tweet yesterday.
Want to bury the Mariners?
Me?
I thought it was a great tweet. So you don't tweet a lot. If you don't follow Jared, if you listen to this podcast, you follow Jared on Twitter. He's kind of like Silent Bob, I realized. Did you know that this morning? Or not Silent Bob. Yeah, Silent Bob. God, I was thinking, Bob.
He's a good curator. He's got good retweet. Good.
That's what I mean, that's kind of what I've been using the page for, is to like send out everything. I follow all the big sports people and I just like retweet a lot what they say, and then I throw my own things in there occasionally when I need to.
But when you do, it's usually gold.
Yeah. Well,
I liked it. If you want to tell people what that tweet
okay,
was.
so yeah, this morning or was it last night or this morning?
I saw it this morning. I don't know.
Yeah, so I tweeted about Clayton Kershaw. The Dodgers lost yesterday, Game 5. ALDS, 107-win team?
NLDS.
Oh, NLDS, sorry, that's what I meant. I think there were 107 wins this year.
I think they had the best record, didn't they?
No clue.
No,
Come on.
Astros.
No clue.
Astros did?
Yeah. So maybe they had 106 wins. It was Astros, I think, were just a little ahead of them. But it doesn't matter.
Best record in the NL.
Yeah, for sure. And they went down, and Clayton Kershaw gave up the grand slam, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, no.
So he gave up back-to-back home runs.
Oh, okay.
It was in the 8th inning that he did that. I assumed that meant he started and just like
No, he
gassed
came
out.
No.
And then I looked at the box score. He pitched 0.1 innings, gave up 2 home runs, and got pulled. And then it turns out he got the one out in the 7th,
Yeah.
and they brought him back in for the 8th.
But
So he got no outs in the 8th.
This begs the question: is it bad pitching or bad managing?
Both.
Both, yeah, for sure.
But you definitely have to say bad pitching. Kershaw's the highest
Yeah, he has.
playoff ERA.
Yeah, he has the
But
highest.
it's a different situation if you're getting brought in as a reliever rather than a starter.
No, certainly. So, but he's not been successful as a starter in the playoffs either. So,
That's true.
I mean, he has, like I said, he has the highest ERA of any pitcher with as many starts as him in the playoffs.
In hindsight, it looks like it was a good move bringing him in to close out the 7th when they were in a jam, which he did. But then probably not a bad move, or not a good move to have him come back out fresh when
What
you have
game did
relief
he-
pitchers who are used to that.
What game did he start before that? Do you know? Was it?
It was probably would have been game 1 and 4, you would think,
yeah,
but I don't actually know.
Yeah.
Usually the ace is either 1 and 4 or 1 and 5.
Yeah.
And they must have done 4 if he didn't start game 5.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so I tweeted about him because of all this. I said that he'd be the perfect Mariners pitcher because he's such a good regular season pitcher and the Mariners are banned from the playoffs, basically permanently.
Which I was going to bring up Felix's stats because he's a perfect example of that.
Yeah.
So he had 2 really, really good years. The first year, I think he won 15 games, but they didn't give him the Cy Young because we still were kind of figuring out the whole advanced metric stuff. And they're like, yeah, he's got an amazing ERA and whip and all that, but like wins, man. People were stuck on wins.
Well, and he's never been like he's always pitched really like he pitched so well for so many years and wouldn't get any run support.
Well, exactly. And the next year when he won the Cy Young, he actually had less wins. I think it was like 11 wins.
I remember that.
But he had I don't remember how many, but he had at least 10 starts where he gave up 1 run or less, which if you're doing the math, then we can't go negative. That means 1 win or 0, and didn't get the win.
Yeah.
So finally they were like, okay, he's clearly great and he's getting screwed by their hitting. Kershaw would be the same situation if he came to Seattle.
Yeah, for sure.
And we would still, like you said, not be making the playoffs.
I wonder if his value is ever going to be lower than it is right now, too.
Well, he's been in the league how many years now, too? I mean, he's not...
No, he's not young. He's probably 30, maybe a little less. He was pretty young when he came in, I think. So I think it would be an interesting thought, at least. You know, I mean, he is dominant. I mean, I don't know. And we need. We do kind of need some veteran help. Actually,
we don't have an ace at the moment.
Oh, certainly not.
Who it was the Mets pitchers with the 2 great pitchers right now?
Yeah.
They're in that situation. Syndergaard and
we'll see later.
DeGrom, yeah, who put up good individual stats and don't get wins. So.
Yeah.
Yes. It happens quite a bit, but yeah, I thought that was a good observation.
Yeah.
His legacy would be way different if he didn't make the playoffs and do what he's done in the playoffs, which is terrible.
Yeah. So I saw a thing today that said they made the playoffs 7 years in a row now and haven't won, right? So
the meme going around is can't get heartbroken in the World Series if you don't make the World Series.
Yeah. And in that, even in that situation, I'm like, it must be nice to be in the playoffs every year. I mean,
what's interesting is David Price.
I really want that.
David Price had a similar situation. And 2 years ago in the playoffs, he was so bad as a starter during the regular season, the Red Sox put him in the bullpen, and he did well in the bullpen in the playoffs. And then last year, he got back to starting, and he had like 3 really good starts in the playoffs, and it was like all of a sudden, no one cared, at least for that year. Yeah. That he's been terrible in the playoffs every year when he was on the Rays and when he was on the Red Sox, obviously, before that. So you can save it, but he's running out of time to turn that around.
Major Ewing theory going with the Nationals.
With Harper out?
Lose Harper and get better.
You know the Ewing theory?
I don't know that.
So that's Bill Simmons. Is he the creator of that, or he just is the huge advocate of it?
I'm pretty sure it's his theory.
Brings it up a lot, where the Knicks with Ewing were terrible, and then he finally left.
Came to Seattle, right?
I don't think that's when he came to Seattle. But he did come to Seattle.
He did come to Seattle eventually, but I don't know if it was right there.
And then when he left, they actually got to the playoffs and stuff again. Yeah. So he brings up a lot of like when a team loses a good player, like, ooh, we could have a good Ewing theory here with losing a good player and all of a sudden the team gets better.
Yeah. He's never seemed like he had a great attitude to me, but...
I don't know well enough. I won't comment. Just Patrick Ewing's attitude.
Oh, not Patrick Ewing. I'm talking about...
Kershaw?
Oh, Kershaw.
No, not Kershaw. The other one.
David Price.
Price.
Well, everyone says he's like a great teammate.
Yeah. Yeah, I just like...
He's bought, ever since he got that huge deal with the Red Sox, he like buys teammates shit all the time.
He's with the Phillies.
I've read. Oh, you're talking about Harper. Oh, I was David Price.
Oh, no. Price. Oh, both of them, I guess.
Harper, I think, was too good too early, and yeah, he's definitely got like a...
His batting average has been terrible, I know that.
Yeah.
Even if
we talked about that early in one of our episodes of him versus Trout versus Machado, because they got the big deals this year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, none of their averages, other than Trout. Like Machado and Harper, neither of them have good averages, have had good averages. They just hit some home runs.
Yeah. But back to the Mariners. They made progress this year, I feel like, as far as like building up their farm system and doing things like that.
Of the year, maybe.
I think
No. They played well at the beginning of the year.
No, they didn't play well at all. Not the pro level. I'm saying
to start. They had that 17-1 or whatever to start. But they
I think overall the organization did well as far as like
they went from having like the 30th best farm system to like the 9th. The pro team didn't do very well, but they were using they were bringing guys up before they probably would have.
Yeah. And I think that's going to be the same thing next year, honestly. I don't.
And someone, PJ was up most of the year, and if he could learn to hit, he would be great. It's like saying you'd be a really good golfer if you could drive 300 yards down the middle of the fairway, but still, like he's fast, he's a great defender. he either needs to learn to get on base by getting base hits or walking, or maybe pull a Euclid and start getting beamed once a game. I don't know. Get on base and he can be great.
Yeah.
Who were some of those other guys they brought up late in the season? I think you paid, a little closer attention to the minors than I did.
There was, what is this? Let's see. There's a laundry list of them, I feel like.
I feel like we should put a clip of the video from right now on so people can see how often Ricky's on his phone.
Pretty much the entire time.
You hear other podcasts where they talk about that too, where someone is on their phone constantly.
Most of the time when I get on it, it's like to look up something or whatever.
Who was the guy they brought up late who we expect to be the first baseman of our future?
I'm trying to think of his name. There's Jake Fraley, who's the guy that they traded from Tampa Bay when they traded Zunino. That's supposed to be good. He's an outfielder. I think he was injured most of the thing. Justice Sheffield was up, but I don't think he played super well, but he was okay.
No, he actually did two. He was,
I think, overall
third or fourth
yeah,
type starter, which, I mean,
for a young guy,
in your first 4 or 5 games, I don't think you expect more.
Didn't he go head-to-head against Paxton?
Probably. I
you probably know better than me, Mr. Yankees fan.
I was having a hard time watching the Mariners towards the end of the year. Not going to lie.
I just seen that was the headline that they're going ahead.
And I guess Paxton actually, he's doing the opposite of what he normally does. He got hurt early in the year, and now he's healthy and starting to pitch like the ace he is.
All right.
Motherfucker. Sorry, explicit episode. God, I hate it when Mariners go to the Yankees and do well, or Red Sox go to the Yankees and do well.
Yeah.
Didn't have to worry about that with Ellsbury.
Nope. Jacoby Ellsbury was one of my favorite Red Sox, but he walked away early, went to the Yankees, and just flamed out.
Oh, was it Evan White? Was he up? No?
I think
Kyle Lewis played really well. That.
God, he was like one of 3 guys to hit 6 home runs in his first 10 games or something like that.
Yeah. Braden Bishop was one of them.
I don't remember if White did come up or if we were expecting him to come up. I think he did. He was the DH in first base.
Yeah, he is. There's a bunch of guys that like have like a pretty look like they could have a future at least. The guys that are like Justin Dunn is another pitcher that the guy that they traded for with the Mets, one of the guys.
So this offseason they've got to be looking for pitching, right?
For sure.
That was the biggest weakness. Every once in a while we would just get shut out. They need to get rid of
some of these older guys still. Like Gordon and like some of the guys that have big contracts that are just
but D. Gordon around. I don't think anyone has come in and become a fan favorite faster than him.
Yeah,
the dude's just got an amazing attitude. He's fun to watch. He's a great defensive second baseman. He's just fast.
Shed Long. That's the other guy.
Shed Long came up. I think Evan White is still down.
Okay.
I think it was Shed Long. Maybe they both came up.
He can play basically second, third, shortstop, kind of pretty much all over the place.
And Malik's, who got a lot of hate early because he was not hitting the ball, and he was having dumb errors in center field. Just not concentrating on catches.
Yeah.
Like he's there super fast and drop it. But then he ended up leading the majors in stolen bases.
I drafted D for that in my fantasy league. And it
didn't work. He was hurt a lot this year.
Yeah,
D.
he was.
I also had Felix, just out of respect.
Yeah, nice.
Did not work out.
Yeah, I think, Malik's, he struggled at every other place besides stolen bases. Like he had a little bit of time where he was pretty hot, but I feel like...
Yeah, he never did get his average back up because he was over 300 hitter last year.
Yeah.
Not for us, obviously.
Domingo Santana, another guy that they expected big things from, and he was injured a lot, and he started off pretty well, and then he.
Did they expect big things? Was that only because he started out hot?
I think it's actually no. I think it's based on he had one year in Milwaukee where he was really good, and then the next year they replaced him with the center fielder from the Kansas City
Royals?
Yeah, the one that was one of the MVPs or one of the people from the World Series team or whatever.
So an upgrade.
Yeah, an upgrade. They upgraded. But so then he just became a 4th outfielder the next year and didn't do much. And so then they traded him to the Mariners.
Oh, who was the other guy?
Another 4th outfielder.
Who was the other guy who got started out hot, who was a former first-round pick and looked like he was actually having an emergence with us?
It's Beckham.
Beckham, yeah.
Fanned. Yeah, and he's another one that
But the reason we did so well early was power.
Yeah.
We had a 15-game streak to start the season with a home run.
Was it Votto? No.
Who?
No, not Joey Votto. He's the red.
Who
was the guy?
Oh, you're talking...
They traded him immediately.
They traded him super early because he was hitting home run. Jay Bruce.
Yeah, Bruce.
And then also Encarnacion. So like our success early in the year was straight power, which is not something you should count on.
Didn't we start out the year with like 20 straight games with a home run?
It was the record. It was the record for most consecutive games to start the season.
One of the later games.
One of the last ones of that streak.
Yeah.
Yeah, but our whole success was based off hitting home runs, and it's not something that most teams want to count on. Although the Yankees and Twins and like another team like set records for most home runs hit in a year by their team. I think the Twins had 8 guys with 20 or more home runs.
Twins set the record for most.
So it can work. It's not something you can count on all the time, and so
especially not in the playoffs, honestly, because the pitching.
the
pitching goes up so much. I mean, the Astros starting pitching is ridiculous.
They have 3 aces. I mean, it's not fair.
Basically.
I do think Dipoto has gone too far. Like he has said from the very beginning, he likes speed and defense. And I think he's gone too far, and that now we have like no one who hits for power except Seager and Haniger.
Yeah.
And both of them are only able to play like 40 games a year because they're always hurt the last like 3 years.
Didn't Seager have like a really good second half?
Yeah, he ended up being the first Mariner, we've talked about this before, he got to 20 home runs and he only played like a third of the season.
He did.
His average still sucked.
Haniger was injured most of the year, getting like his nut got exploded.
Yeah, he lost a testicle. He's down a testicle. He ruptured it.
Yeah, that's rough. Is what that is.
Fouled the ball right into his own junk. Like, come on! He doesn't even get to blame it on the pitcher. Like, you threw it into my nuts. No, he did it to himself.
So they have, but the Mariners have at least two prospects that are like in the top 20 of baseball. That Jared Kelenic. Kelenic. Yeah. He's the one who jumped 2 different, like 3. So he started in single A and got to triple A. Then he went to like high A. There's like different levels.
I don't know all the levels, but he jumped stages faster than most people do.
And then Julio Rodriguez, also another outfielder that's like a beast. People say like kind of Vlad Guerrero like. Of course, they would say that.
I love the only one who can truly be Vlad Guerrero like is his son.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, he also jumped a few levels over the course of the year.
Vlad Guerrero's son, who they weren't going to bring up because he wasn't ready.
No, they said. Well,
they clearly just wanted to extend his rights one more year by not bringing him up at the first month or something like that.
Yeah, it's like once you get to June, I forget what the date exactly is, but you can you hold on to him an extra year basically because they don't.
Yeah, because they did the same thing with the dude from the Cubs. I don't remember his name either. I'm terrible at names. But they did the same thing with him his first year.
Chris Bryant?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so we all, by the Vlad Guerrero thing, we all understood. And they still tried to pull that bullshit.
Yeah. Of course.
Before we transition away from the Mariners, I do want to make sure I mention, this will actually be one of our most memorable seasons as far as going to games. Because I saw the opener, Edgar threw the first pitch. I went on Edgar weekend on my birthday and saw him and got the sign. And then I also saw Felix's last game as a Mariner.
Nice.
And got the
this is
King's Court shirt and
quite
stuff.
the opposite for me because I didn't go to a game.
Yeah, so it's weird.
First time
for me
in years that I didn't go to a game. So
it's the first time they've actually legitimately tried to rebuild in years, which made it not fun to watch games all the way through. And yet there's like 3 games that I'll probably remember more than any other game I've been to.
Went to one game and got to take my ex-fiance. That was fun.
Not ex-fiance at the time. Now ex-fiance, yeah. No, that was a fun game. There wasn't that many people. We got to walk around, sit in some lower seats for a while.
Got to hang out with Darren.
Nice. Yeah, I didn't. I don't know why I didn't go to a game. Just probably the losing. But
you've had a pretty busy last 8 months, though.
Well, it's definitely been busy, but. And I went to like the Jay Buhner Hall of Fame game, and I went, years ago, like all the a lot of those like big kind of of course, all those big events, I guess, at Griffey's return to Seattle and like those things.
I'll always regret not going to Griffey's Hall of Fame weekend.
Yeah,
because I lived literally 15 minutes from the stadium.
There's no excuse.
So extra regret. I don't remember why I didn't go. I think no one else. I couldn't get anyone to go, and I didn't want to go alone, and so I just... Yeah. That's dumb.
Safeco's, honestly, even if the baseball game sucks, Safeco is just beautiful, so like you can just walk around and...
T-Mobile?
Yeah, whatever. That's
park.
It's never going to be that to me.
All right. Can we get on to a happier
topic?
The
brick backstop.
It is kind of nice. Really except that it has the stupid T-Mobile logo right in the middle.
So I heard there's like a golf thing there. Is that true? Now? Like some kind of golf, like indoor golf thing there?
Oh, are they doing that? I think they do it every year. They do Top Golf for like 2 weeks.
Oh, no. They supposedly, I heard something about like They actually set up a permanent thing inside, like somewhere by center field. That's like
I don't know.
golf. Like
I know I've seen them have it set up there before, where they'll have a driving
where they like you can hit from different parts in the stadium into the.
Well, no, I've seen them set up the fake driving range where you hit it and it has the video and tells you, ball speed and all that stuff. Yeah. I've seen them temporarily set that up. I don't know if they had a permanent thing. Huh. They did the Golf Expo, like...
Top Golf is coming, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
They do that. Yeah, they do that for a couple weeks every year there. I went to the Golf Expo when I was like 20 or 21, and you got to go out. It was in WAMU Theater, and then you got to go out on the field, and they had a closest to the pin contest.
Nice.
And the golf balls that go 2/3 the length of a normal golf ball.
Yeah.
So it played 120, and I actually hit a pitch and shot to 9 feet something. It still wasn't good enough to get to the finals, but
nice.
I did make the 50-foot putt and got to go back and try that again and failed miserably. So
that's pretty good though. Make a 50-foot putt.
You also get to watch it's the long line, so you get to watch a whole bunch of people try, and you see there's a definite groove. So if you get into that groove and hit hard enough, it's going in. Me and my uncle both made it.
Nice. Okay, well, let's transition to the Seahawks. Or
this isn't happier.
Happier.
This isn't happier.
It's happier for
for some of us.
Hey, you guys still hold the playoff win over our head all year until this year's playoffs.
Yeah, we can.
And you guys really haven't done that good against good teams. We don't know about the Rams, and you lost to the Saints.
Yeah, and but we outplayed the Saints. I know it's a moral victory, but it was definitely you clean up 2 stupid mistakes.
Yeah.
Which, the fumble and whatever.
Didn't they get a punt return?
They got a punt return.
There was a punt return touchdown and a fumble return touchdown, and they beat us by 7.
Yeah, that's true.
Russell had 500 yards or something stupid.
Yeah, he had 400 yards, I think. Yeah, so, since last time we were on, I think they hadn't played even the Steelers yet when I did the last podcast. So we won that game, which was nice. Did pretty well for the most part.
Came down to the wire.
Yeah.
Rudolph looked better than he had.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, and then last week he got completely killed by Earl Thomas. So, so then after that, the Saints came to Seattle, and that's what we were just talking about, and beat Seattle in Seattle, which is, kind of a rarity. Not as much as it was, a few years ago, but...
with Teddy Bridgewater.
But he's looked pretty good overall. Maybe that was probably his worst game, honestly, I think.
Other than Gardner Minshew, he's got to be the best backup in football coming into the season.
He didn't?
No, they won by 4.
They didn't score a touchdown.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they didn't score. They were 4 field goals versus it was 12-10.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Well, he did bad, but he just didn't get it.
Yeah, you're right. And then what? Last week was
the Rams.
The Rams.
Thursday night.
That was a ridiculous game.
Should have lost.
Probably should have lost a few times.
But, you want to be the team that has the lead and is not trying to get a last-second field goal?
I always feel like you could say that about every game almost, especially for the Seahawks. Maybe not for other teams, but the Seahawks always it's always a close game most of the time, and you could always come down to a few different plays.
I only say it because Zerline is probably the best kicker over the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And so I think that he makes that kick 94 times out of 100.
Yeah.
I'm not even joking.
So a similar situation with the Cowboys game this week, though. When they were coming down at the end there, they still had to make an onside kick even if they made it. But
then there was a missed field goal earlier in that game.
Yeah. So it was kind of interesting. It made me think about it a little more. But I don't know. I think
good call by Pete to not ice him.
Yeah.
Icing the kicker hasn't.
Yeah, I think the not icing gets in their head more because they're expecting it.
Maybe, you're right.
So I think when they're going up for that first kick, they're lined up and they're getting ready for the snap,
it's one of those things where
kind of looking over their shoulder oh, here comes the timeout. And then it's no, okay, crap, now I got to kick it.
Yeah. It's one of those things where I think if you do it and they make it the first one and then they miss the second one, then you're right. But it's either way you could be right?
They just make them both.
Yeah, exactly. It's I don't know.
It seems like nowadays you want to play that percentage though and make them do that second try.
Yeah.
It's been a lot less clutch kicking.
It'd be interesting to look at have someone bring up the stats on how often when they ice them they miss the second one.
Yeah, it'd be interesting, totally.
There's definitely been a few instances where I think it was the old Jets kicker. What was that dude's name? And he they iced him and he missed it on the first kick and he got to re-kick it and made it.
Yeah, that's what I was meaning. It's either way you can.
It goes both ways.
Yeah, exactly. It's
It'd
like
be interesting to see the stats, but I think it's probably more just
I
luck.
think it's just dependent on the snap and the hold and all that other stuff. Like there's so many different variables that can make or break whether a kick's going to go in.
And what Tedrick Thompson?
Tedrick, yeah,
That catch was insane.
it was insane.
It was up
And
there
it's
with
funny
the Edelman
because
one.
so like I heard some people complaining about how much he celebrated it, but like everything I ever hear about him is that like is
He was
criticism.
clearly the only one who knew that he caught. Actually, was another guy who was coming toward him when he caught it, who
Yeah.
celebrated. So clearly, they were the only two that thought he caught it.
He
Yeah.
knew it was the play of his career
Yeah.
right after the game. He's like,
Yeah.
this is the
Well, and the criticism, he's been getting criticized pretty much the whole time he's been with Seattle just because he doesn't really make plays and like you
Well, in
know,
that Bengals game,
and he's
people are
trying to
still
replace-
have that in his head, that dumb
Yeah.
catch before the first half.
and he's trying to replace like obviously legend. So like
Yeah.
it's you know, so I think it was just a big relief in a way, like because I don't know if you saw like after he made the interception and then they confirmed it, like him and all the whole defense ran down the field and went in the end zone and like high-fived all the fans and like
I'm a big fan of
they were getting crazy.
The group picture that they did on turnovers.
yeah, exactly. Well, so like I heard a lot of people like not happy saying that they were over celebrating or whatever, but
Well, and it was another case of the refs blowing one dead and then having to be like, whoops,
Yeah.
you don't get the return that you would have had if we had just let
Yeah.
it play out and then reviewed it. So they've been more and more now
Just letting
not blowing
Mashup
whistles.
Saints.
And then people are like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Yeah. Well, no, that Saints, that was week 1 that they
Week
did
3 against the Rams.
it. Was that week 3? Okay, yeah, I mean, it was early. Yeah,
Yeah.
the
I think it was
fumble.
week 3.
Yeah.
But they were both undefeated.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Rams and Seattle, so NFC West is looking like potentially the best division in football right now.
It is. I don't know what would be even close. The AFC's terrible.
The Rams might actually be bad.
I don't think so.
I think their ceiling is still the highest in the NFC, but the floor might be the lowest outside of Arizona.
Yeah. The North
They've given up a ton. They gave a ton of points to the Bucks.
They
Packers.
did for sure.
Or-
But that was it. Also, wasn't that fumble return? There was a fumble return in there. There was like some goofy plays, I guess you'd say.
Evans had 3 touchdowns and like 200
Yeah,
yards
Evans is
receiving, so
ridiculous. No
Oh, yeah,
doubt
the
about
South.
you
Yeah.
can throw on them.
that. Yeah.
But there's the Packers, the Bears, the Lions.
Except that the Bears don't look
And
as
the
good
Vikings.
as we expected.
That's actually pretty
The
good.
Lions look
But
better.
Lions are-
Vikings, we still don't
they're
know.
okay.
They
I
were
think
in
the
London,
Lions.
though.
I think so.
That one might have, if you're going to say that one's better, it's because they don't have a Cardinals.
Yeah, that's what I was
All
thinking.
4 of those teams are capable of winning 8 games, even though they won't all. So that's a good point.
Yeah, that's what I'd say too.
Cardinals might get to 4 wins. But they got the
With
tie.
their tie.
They got
Yeah,
the tie.
against the Lions.
Yeah. Kyler Murray, I thought he looked okay though. Like he looks like he could
He's
be.
getting better and
He
better.
could be a playmaker, and he's just like a little hesitant and stuff.
Certainly looks better than Baker.
The people that watch college football are like, Kingsbury's holding him back. Like, he's a bad coach. They're like, he's not actually a good coach. He doesn't have a winning record in college. He was going to take an offensive coordinator job in college and turn that down to become a head coach in the NFL. It's like, wait a minute.
I mean, that shows you the Arizona Cardinals organization.
Exactly.
Yeah, they went in last year, took a quarterback in top
Poor Larry
10,
Fitzgerald.
and hired a coach.
I know. I'm surprised he stayed so long.
Yeah, so they gave a new coach and top 10 quarterback 1 year and then gave up on them last year.
Yeah.
And now we're starting over with another top 10 quarterback and brand new coach. So yeah,
Yeah.
that Cardinals organization's a little rough.
A little rough, to say the least. But, yeah, I mean, I think that you have a good point. I'm not sure what the best division is, but I feel like as far as
In terms of
if you were
playoff
going for a
teams.
top, yeah, that's what I feel like the West would be. Because they
Yeah,
could
that's the West.
easily have 3.
10-win teams,
Yeah. I mean, that's crazy, too, to think about.
even beating up on each other.
Yeah. But I actually, like back in the day when the Seahawks were playing the 49ers and there was like, those are the best 2 teams most people.
Yeah, they ended up
I'm
playing
actually
in the
looking forward to
NFC
this
Championship game.
renewing because that was real fun.
Yeah.
But what
and
made it fun was Harbaugh.
It's true.
Everyone hated Harbaugh and Carroll.
That's
No one hates Kyle Shanahan.
Nah, I don't,
But
it doesn't seem
you
like
got
it.
the-
Or Garoppolo.
you got the Sherman factor.
That's true.
That's true.
Except I don't hate Sherman
Nick
either.
Bosa being a
He's an easy one to hate, I feel like. But
real disappointed that he's good.
I like that he pounded the flag on
That was
Baker.
cool, but
yeah. But I think that it actually is kind of good to have a bunch of good teams in your division because it like builds you up for those playoff games and like the pressure and everything. Especially like Seahawks are like still like the 4th or 5th youngest team by average age or whatever.
Oh, I didn't realize that, but yeah, that makes
Russ is
sense.
Old man.
Yeah, he is. He is the old man. But he's playing
He's like
ridiculous.
29,
Yeah,
something like that.
the old man on the team.
Him and Bobby.
Bobby and KJ.
KJ.
KJ's probably the oldest. But yeah, I think that it kind of sharpens you up for the playoffs, and so
The running game's going good as long as Carson doesn't fumble. The passing game, Wilson's having another looks like potential career year, starting to run the ball again. So maybe he was banged up last year. Maybe that's why he wasn't running.
He's been awesome.
Disley, who was supposed to be a blocking specialist, turned out
He can catch.
we had Vanette, who we drafted specifically like 2 years ago to be a receiving tight end. And instead, Disley's the one who's a great receiver, and we traded Vanette because we're like, well, we
got Luke Wilson back.
Yeah, and Wilson was a solid blocker and a solid, like he's not great at either, but he's good at both.
I'm not sure why they got rid of him in the first place. I know he's a free agent. I know he was a free
agent. They let
him
get paid.
Yeah,
they didn't
sign him.
They didn't want to
the contract.
Yeah, so
same reason we let Golden Tate and Javon Curse. We just didn't want to pay them.
And all them guys. Yeah, exactly. You're right. But
which has worked out because now we have a ton of cap space. It doesn't look like we'll re-sign Clowney, at least as of how he's gone so far.
I think he already loves it here. Like, from everything I've heard, like, he already is.
He likes it, yeah, but I'm like,
it's a matter of.
We're not going to pay him $20 million a year, and he's going to want it.
I mean, we'll see, I guess. We have the money, I think. That's not really.
But it's not worth it. If they didn't pay Frank Clark, who actually put up good pass rushing numbers and stuff, $20 million, I don't know why they would do pay Clowney.
Well, so far, Frank Clark's been pretty bad, too, this year. Actually.
He had a pretty good game last week. Kept him in it. Had a couple
Chiefs
good
aren't really
things.
That good on defense.
Yeah, they're terrible on defense. Yeah.
Especially against the run.
Yeah, they got Tyrann Mathieu and Frank Clark. And maybe Don Terry Poe, they still have him? I don't know. Defensive tackle.
I just remember
he was really good.
Bengals.
Yeah. But what about Russell Wilson's MVP stock? Are you guys buying into that at all?
Yeah.
If it's been a big conversation nationally even right now.
I don't feel like you guys have played enough competition.
Yeah. I mean,
you played against the Steelers, the Bengals.
But the only person I can say who's higher would be McCaffrey.
Exactly.
Even Mahomes,
Mahomes is going to have.
He only has one touchdown.
Yeah, he is.
But is he though? He only has one touchdown over his last 2 weeks.
He will. He's insane.
Well, he says it's always wide receivers, which is kind of funny to me.
Tyreek's coming back.
Yeah,
Tyreek coming back.
He says that he said I saw something about, and he said defenses are playing the same defense every week because they don't have anybody that can go over the top basically at this moment. So, I mean, that might change obviously when people get back.
Plus, if Brady.
Yeah, I know. You're right.
You always have to consider Brady for the record.
Yeah, but I think the fact that Seattle has 5 national televised games this year, that might help Russell Wilson quite a bit.
I mean, at least at this point in time, Wilson hasn't had a bad game. Yeah. The game they lost, he actually put up the most numbers because they were trying to play from behind.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have a down game that you can be like, well, see what happened when that team played him.
And the hardest game he rose to the occasion.
Yeah.
And he always does. And he's always has some of the best fourth quarter numbers.
No interceptions. It's ridiculous.
He's being the efficient quarterback he was last year, but actually running the ball more and getting more touchdowns this year. And he had the career high in touchdowns last year.
Yeah.
But McCaffrey is carrying a potentially bad team, and now they have a winning record. Now they have a quarterback who at least doesn't turn the ball over
as much.
I heard that. I've heard people say that if they make the playoffs, then he'll win. McCaffrey will win MVP. Otherwise,
that's dumb.
He's got more yards than the Jets.
Bill Simmons argues this all the time. He's arguing against Trout. He's like, you can't have an MVP who's on a bad team. It's like, MVP means you add the most value to your team. So yes, if Trout's team only won 76, but if you replace him with a bad or an average center fielder and they lose 20 more games, that means he's got a lot of value, even if it's not.
That's
it's
what
not.
I always said about Kobe.
Yeah, it's not his fault. They started on a team that's like a 50-win team and turned him into a 76-win instead of starting on a 70-win team and turning him into a 96-win team.
Yeah.
Same with McCaffrey. The guy's averaging like 175 yards and 2 touchdowns every game. If you put an average running back on that team, they're 0-5.
I was going to say, do you think if he's on the Dolphins, they have a win?
No, because you're starting on an 0-16 team and maybe he gets them 4 wins. But instead he's starting on a Panthers team that was probably like a 6-win team with a not completely healthy Cam and
Their defense is pretty good.
Yeah, I actually saw a prediction
to
have them in the NFC Championship before the season. But
that's because they thought Cam was actually healthy, which is dumb because we didn't even think he was going to start week 1 until 3 weeks into the preseason. It was like, oh, maybe he will start. Well, guess what? If it's that much of a question, he's not healthy.
Is he supposed to come back at all or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just his ankle.
Oh, okay. Not his shoulder or whatever anymore. So now his problem.
I don't know.
Apparently, it was really bad. I didn't get to see those games, though.
Yeah. Huh.
He can't throw on field. He misses guys.
He's never been super accurate, but
No, his
Maybe.
career completion percentage is under 60%.
yeah.
But,
Okay.
so McCaffrey will be my MVP right now. Wilson number 2. I mean, I'll tie with Mahomes. The ceiling, Mahomes' good games have been crazy good. But when you have 2, I guess one of them he threw for a bunch of yards,
Well, I
just
think
didn't get any touchdowns.
Yeah,
They
3
throw like
touchdowns
the
in a
highest
quarter.
percentage.
So I guess he really
of
had one
any team.
bad game.
Yeah, I think they throw for the highest percentage of any team.
Yeah, and the
Or
Seahawks throw
close.
for like the least,
Yeah, exactly.
other than the Vikings.
Yeah,
Efficiency.
Now,
yeah, exactly. Well, I mean,
So.
Russell's like 70% completion percentage right now, or 72 or something ridiculous.
he's up there with the Breeze
Yeah,
completion numbers. And then Rams are playing the Niners this week, so that'll be big for.
yeah, who are you rooting for in that one then?
I feel like I'm rooting for the Rams because I want the Seahawks to win the division.
Yeah, same with me.
And if the 49ers win and they're
It's not. No,
they're still only half a game ahead of us, but if they lose and we win, we're in the lead in the division because they'll be 4-1 and we'll be 5-1.
Who the Hawks play?
We play the Cleveland Monday night. So we got the extra long week and they got the slightly short week.
Is it Monday night?
Yeah, they played they.
When's the next game
It's
now?
a regular Sunday, but the Browns played Monday night.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And we played
It's a short
Thursday.
week.
So we got
Yeah.
4 extra days over them.
Yeah,
Good time to catch the AFC North.
yeah,
And now there's talk of like,
Do they play the Ravens this year?
they do.
That'll be fun to see Lamar
I
versus.
think that's in Seattle.
which I actually
It
scared
is.
of that game because the
Yeah.
Seahawks have a bad history against mobile quarterbacks. They do a really good job of not giving them anyone to pass to and then leaving them a whole bunch of field to run on.
Dak had some pretty major runs
Yeah,
in the
I
playoffs
know.
last year.
Well, I actually felt like so far this year that like the linebackers, for as much talk as they've gotten, they haven't actually played as well as I was like I haven't seen them. I don't know, flash as much as they had previously.
But I think part of that is our secondary is not doing very good and teams are able to get the ball out pretty fast.
Yeah, probably true.
But no, yeah.
And we're not getting a lot of pass rush, honestly. Like,
No, Jaron Reed coming back in week 7 will be big for us. He was our sack leader last
Fans
year.
are back?
yeah, he's
Danza
back, but he's
did play.
kind of doing his preseason in a way, you know. He's been getting better each game, I feel like.
Because
But
it took him like 3 weeks longer than they thought. Because
Yeah.
he was questionable for week 1 and didn't play till week 4.
yeah, I think you're right. So, and I think like he played like 9 or 10 snaps the first game, and then
Oh, I didn't even
worked
notice
his
that.
way up.
Yeah.
He hasn't been playing a lot, and then he kind of has been working his way up, and even Clowney like came in pretty late, and like
Yeah, he was
They
all
said-
out in camp, wasn't he?
yeah, he was.
Oh, yeah, he wasn't in
didn't
camp
trade
in
it.
Houston.
Yeah, and so he.
Lucky for us, Jaron Reed was only suspended. So he's healthy. Only suspended for roids.
I've seen
Hopefully
a
they're
couple
still
tweets
doing their
about
job.
I've seen a couple of tweets from him celebrating wins and stuff like that. So he's watching.
But I mean, when Ziggy's fully healthy, Clowney and Jaron Reed, those 3 guys, if they don't get a pass rush, then we just suck.
Quentin Jefferson's been pretty damn good, I feel like.
He's been our best so far.
Yeah, and getting pressure up the middle, which is kind of funny. He's the same guy, I think. I think it's the same guy that in the Jags game a few years ago that like attacked the crowd. Or like, I think it's the same guy. I'm not completely certain, but
Sounds right.
Yeah, but yeah. So I guess we'll see where it goes from here. But I have high hopes for him at this point. Like I feel like they're in the top consideration of the NFC for sure. With like the Cowboys, the Saints, the
Simmons did his rankings. He had them lurking.
Second tier.
No, he had them 3rd tier. So there was like the top tier, then there was one team in the 2nd tier, and then they had the lurking tier, and Seahawks were in that one. But it put them at like 5th for power rankings.
I can see that.
Because he had I think the 49ers were in their own tier because he was like, still not sure if they're good. So I think it was like Patriots and Chiefs as the elite. And I think
this
it's
is not
Saints.
the Saints.
Patriots, Chiefs, and Saints, I think was the top tier. Then he put the 49ers in their own, which is like,
Yeah.
they've played one less game and they really haven't played anybody. And then he had the lurking, which was like the Seahawks and Green Bay. I think there was one other team, but I don't care.
yeah, that makes sense.
Why do I keep...
I still don't think Green Bay's that good.
I don't know that they're that good, but I think they beat the Cowboys, I guess, but
It was kind of.
it was like
They
a
didn't have
beat
Tay.
down at first, and
Yeah,
then
they didn't have Tay Adams.
and then they kind of went away. Like it kind of came back at but
Their defense is obviously better, and I do think they're one of those teams like the Seahawks do every year that will get better, partly because they have a new coach who's trying to figure stuff out too.
Yeah.
And last week, Devontae Adams was out, which
I'm really not a big fan of Aaron Rodgers.
Neither am I.
just as a person.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Actually, I think he's been overrated as a quarterback too.
I think they give him too much leeway of if he plays bad, it's like, oh well, it must be the people around him or whatever. Maybe that's all quarterbacks, but I don't feel like that's true.
Who was the coward that said the new tier is just Mahomes and Wilson?
Yeah,
for top quarterbacks.
Yeah,
I mean, I think Brady still has to be up there because you can't say that if you had a fourth quarter and you need one score to win that you're not going to have Brady as one of your top guys you pick.
For sure.
Yeah,
especially if you have any kind of offensive line
with his history. Yeah. Someone here? Oh, you guys continue.
Well,
okay, so how about those Cowboys?
Yeah, terrible. Terrible showings the last couple of weeks. Well, they could have very easily won against the Saints. Randall Cobb dropped a touchdown. They got down early at home, which is very disappointing against the Packers.
So I think Cooper's looked pretty damn good every time I see him.
And what do you have, like 11 catches, 226 yards, and 2 touchdowns?
Ridiculous.
Of course, I was playing him in fantasy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Perfect. I'm not in the fantasy league at this moment, but I've been helping some friends with their fantasy teams, like just saying, oh, this guy, they had Eli Manning. I'm like, what the hell do you have him for?
I'm in too many leagues and I've stopped caring.
To be honest with you, it was a lady, and she said, I just picked him up based on looks or based on something, I forget, college or something. Looks. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that's your problem, because she had Vanette too, actually. So I'm reshuffling your entire team.
He's actually did okay for the Steelers at first.
Oh, it was before he was on the Steelers. So I released him pretty quickly.
He might have a chance at
No, he definitely could be more successful than he could be here, because we don't pass the ball enough to really create really good wide receivers and what's called. I know that our receivers are good. Maybe Lockett's really good, but he's still not going to ever produce the stats that he could somewhere else, right?
Shout out to
no, Lockett might be able to. He had double-digit touchdowns last year, and he's getting the targets now. Even though we don't throw a ton, he's getting enough targets. He's getting more targets other than week one.
Actually, than Baldwin was getting the most right now. Still, I think last time I saw.
Really? Because I know Lockett had 11 or more in week 2.
Yeah, but I think it was the last week that I looked, and it was Metcalf was the highest, and he had caught only 40% of his passes because most of them are long bombs, right?
Yeah, somebody also mentioned that if you look at his route tree that they bring up, it's almost all.
Which is what they said he was his strengths were coming out of college. So I'm not.
Well, yeah, it was a straight line runner.
Yeah, learn. I think he'll learn the other things as he goes along, but it's not a bad thing to start off with what he does best and then build on that. Obviously,
everybody needs a burner.
Yeah.
Well, in the preseason they had him doing some other stuff. He was doing some stopping routes.
Have that, and it's completely stole their offense.
Yeah.
We just talked about Mahomes, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We have nothing else. You have to.
But I think Lockett could do that
if you play him one-on-one, then you worry about. Him being that guy.
Yeah.
And so they have the safety has to pay attention to him too.
Well, I think Lockett can do that too, obviously. I feel like we kind of...
Oh, no. Lockett has 36 to Metcalf's 26.
Shout out to waiting until marriage.
But yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's true.
Metcalf only has 12 catches on 26 targets.
Yeah.
Where Will Dissly, how many catches do you think he has on 26 targets? Because he has the same number of targets.
6 of them are touchdowns.
23.
Damn.
Nice.
So that's what Lockett was when Baldwin was there, where he was an 80% catch rate. But Lockett 30 out of 36. His yards per catch. This is how you make up for it. DK 22 yards per catch to Lockett's 12.5.
Yeah.
And so what their total receiving yards is less than or a little over 100 different on 18 more catches by Lockett.
Yeah, of course. He's the safety blanket in a way. Him and Dissly are the two guys that Russell Wilson's going to find when he needs to. How about the freaking, what's his name? I forget the other wide receiver's name because he sucks.
John Brown?
Yeah. He
8 of 13, 116 yards.
He just doesn't, he never open or whatever. I don't know what it is. They don't trust him, but I always hear so much about him like before the season, they were like, "Oh, Jerron Brown, he's going to be so good." Like he's never been that good. Like he's never had a really good year, and not even with Arizona when he was there. And
he had flashes, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
He was hurt a lot in Arizona.
So like it's kind of funny it's like, God, if they throw it to him once in the game, it's like a shock.
They are throwing to the running backs a little more this year. Like that was a big
true.
thing they were talking this offseason. Carson's got 17 targets, CJ Prozis 8, Rashad Penny only 3. But total, that's 30, almost as many targets as Lockett has by himself. So at least they're keeping teams honest with the running backs when they come out of the backfield.
Yeah, and they haven't been really good at that for the last several years. Like Russell Wilson, that could have helped. Like a lot of the times where he's taken sacks is if he had a safety blanket kind of running back out there.
Yeah, he used to dump it off to Lynch, man.
Yeah, he would.
No, Lynch was never considered a receiving back, but yeah, that he did feel comfortable throwing to him, and they would do wheel routes with him every once in a while, keep people honest.
And they could do that with these guys. Precise, like you saw, was it Penny or who was it that made the long catch? One of the running backs last week made like a really long catch over the top of Talib.
Well, Penny has a 30-yard catch on the year.
It might have been him then.
CJ Prozis as long as 21. Carson, so it's funny, Carson gets the most targets, but he's the least
he's
of
not,
receiving.
He's
His
not a
long
speedy
is
guy,
17.
He reminds me of DeMarco Murray.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's a good comparison, except that he fumbles more.
Well,
he hasn't the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, he didn't fumble. I think I heard that he didn't fumble at all in college. The whole time he was in college, which is ridiculous. But okay, so is there anybody else you want to talk about? Anything else?
On Seahawks, I don't know. We got one other Seattle team we should at least mention.
That's the Storm?
No, the Sounders are the only ones that are playing. I looked them up this morning. They're second in their division, but the LA Galaxy are just way better than everybody else.
Yeah.
Sounders have only a +3 goal differential, which means they've just done really good at getting ties and winning close games.
Yeah.
As long as they're better than those lousy Timbers. I really hate those Timbers.
I don't know anything about that. So they're getting close to the end of the season, I think, to go playoffs. And so they'll be in the playoffs. It looks, the standings are really close for 4 teams.
I have seen that. Like, did they start off really bad this year or no?
No idea.
I think they started off good.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not sure. I don't follow that close.
Yeah, I don't follow that closely either. If I see him on TV, I'll usually watch him, honestly. But
Dempsey was my guy.
Once I played FIFA, the video game, it was like all of a sudden my whole idea on soccer changed. And I'm like, I understood the rules a little better. Like, kind of.
FIFA's a good time.
It was super good time. Like I figured out players like all over the world that I never would have known. Obviously,
I gotta get that so I can challenge Chad Ochocinco. He's always playing against all his fans.
Like I said, I had to look it up. So you got their 16 wins, 10 ties. 10 losses, 8 ties, +3 goal differential. There's 4 teams below them that have a better goal differential.
Wow.
But what does an X mean on this? They have clinched the playoff spot.
Cool.
Turns out at least 7 teams make a playoff spot. Oh no, 7 teams do. It's already been established. Like they know who's in, who's not. So they must be really close to playoffs.
Nice.
But yeah, they have a +3. The next best, second most, their best goal differential in that division is at 9, and the Galaxy, the LAFC. What is that?
That's Galaxy.
Is that the Galaxy? Why
LA
the FC?
Club.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They have a +48 goal differential.
Wow.
They've scored 85 and only given up 37.
Ibrahimovic? Is that that guy's name?
Yeah, right.
Monster.
It is true.
So good luck to them going forward.
For sure. The other thing I wanted to mention is the Sonic Boom podcast. Or is it?
Sonic Boom.
You know about it.
Yeah.
You know more about it than I do, but I listened to it. And
no, it's not on Google.
It's not.
It's available only on Luminary.
Yeah.
But you can get Ricky says you can get a 30-day trial.
You get a free 2-month trial.
2 months. I even like that better.
So I'm waiting until it's over because they're doing multiple episodes.
Oh, that's true. That's a good point.
Wait till it's halfway over.
But you guys should definitely check it out. It's pretty damn good.
I want to because, we obviously know a good amount about it just because we're here.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's a ton of stuff.
The guy who actually is doing it, he grew up in Atlanta and he loved the Sonics. Despite growing up in Atlanta, he talks about from more of a national perspective in a lot of ways.
If you grew up watching basketball in the 90s, the Sonics were one of the exciting teams. They made one finals. They had a guy who was probably every year in his prime considered at least a top 5 point guard. Sean Kemp, Rain Man, one of the best dunkers in the league for a good 5 or 6 years. So.
I always hated Gary Payton until I realized that he was the one that threw the inbounds pass to Derek Fisher on the point 4 play. So now
I didn't even know that. That's great.
Yeah, so it's a pretty cool listen, and like kind of gives you a lot of nostalgia, but also like I kind of got goosebumps like listening to it, just like bringing me back to like it's almost like when you listen to the the 95 playoffs games for the Mariners.
Oh yeah, they play those highlights.
You just get that feeling and you're like, oh my god, you know what I mean? Like, so I felt that way just listening to the first episode, which you can listen to for free before without joining.
Yeah. Oh, you can listen to the first episode free.
Yeah.
And it's fun listening to those type of documentary things where they, because they do in-depth research, so you find out details you didn't know.
There's interviews with all the players on there. There's it's pretty cool.
I've seen the thing that Gary Payton was like the best guest he's ever had.
Yeah, they had Detlef, they had Gary Payton. I didn't hear Sean Kemp in the thing part I was listening to or whatever, but
he's available.
He was probably at one of his kids' birthday parties.
Yeah, but George Karl was on there. There's,
nice.
Lots of Nate McMillan.
The original. Did they get the original Splash Brothers? Ray and Richard?
I hadn't not. I don't think they go that deep.
Original Splash Brothers.
I don't think they go that. Well, not yet. They hadn't gone that far. Like into the future, I guess. They were mostly sticking with the 90s so far. But yeah, and then maybe just a little bit on why they left and that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's a pretty good thing. Listen to it if you're out there in the world.
It's a Ringer podcast, so they'll probably get to rant.
Wait, it's a Ringer podcast?
Yeah.
But it's only on Luminary? I knew Ringer was kind of pimping it, but they do that with other stuff sometimes that they don't do that they like. They're not... That was one of the things Bill Simmons hated about ESPN was like for the longest time they wouldn't let their people go on anything else. They wouldn't let them like openly even promote things that weren't ESPN. Mm-hmm. And he hated that because he never got to go on local radio and stuff. And so with the Ringer, they got Ryan Russillo when he was still at the ESPN, which is nice. ESPN now lets their people go out, but yeah, the Ringer had been probably because they're trying to poach people, but they've had a lot of guests who are on other things and they promote. Like Matthew Berry goes on all the time. Mm-hmm. So
Nina Kimes goes on every once in a while.
Yeah, she's pretty hilarious. I saw. Did you see she tweeted something, or maybe it was her boyfriend, or somebody tweeted like her celebrating the Seahawks win.
I've seen that.
It was so freaking hilarious.
I always forget that she's a big Seahawks.
It's funny because she did the preseason games for the LA Rams. Like she was the analyst on that or whatever.
Yeah. She got to do the commentating.
They were like. Everybody was like mad at her for it a little bit, but I mean, she's still a Seahawks fan. So, well, anyways, I think that's probably wraps this up.
Yeah. All right, Ricky. That was us talking to Jared for his Rain City Sports podcast, all about Northwest sports. And now this is our We Blowing Up break, I guess.
It's been a while.
We've done shout outs for like actual real companies of people we know and things like.
That's true.
The clothing company of Corey's friends, stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't done a fake sponsor in a while.
I mean, our best one was beer.
Beer was good. There's been some good ones. So, all right, let's get into character. You can't see me. I'm doing the face changing thing that, what's his face? The wrestler does.
Focus.
Hey, Ricky, do you like having clothes on your back and like being able to eat?
I would say those are things I prefer, yes.
What about, like, going places and doing things that cost money?
Well, anything fun, the law of averages costs at least $12.
Really? Is that a thing?
I heard it on South Park.
Nice. Well, I believe everything that's on South Park. Don't get your kids vaccinated or let people choose what they want. I think that was the message of the last episode. But if you like money, I got the thing for you.
What's that?
Get a job. Get a job and have a job.
Yep, being employed. This episode's brought to you by
being employed. I mean, really, what the fuck can we do in this world without money anymore? Nothing's free.
Nope, unless you are a survivalist. In which case, I respect your
you still got to buy the shit that... I mean, no, I guess if you're like Bear Grylls, but you know what? He had to buy those clothes. He's not out there naked. I guess there's naked and afraid. All right. Okay.
But that doesn't last a lifetime. It lasts like 30 days and they're over it. 30 days. Not even 30 days. Like a week.
Yeah, they would not be out there doing that by choice without being paid. Yeah, they're doing that for money.
Yeah.
So, me and Ricky say, get a job. Have money. Do things. We do differ a little bit on what to do with that money. Ricky's all about spend it because you might die tomorrow. I like to save a little bit. Because sometimes my car needs work and I have to be able to pay to get it fixed or change the tires or some shit. Speaking of which, I should probably do that. Oh, I got to get tabs. Goddamn thing came in the mail the other day. I got to get tabs by next month.
I should probably switch my mindset on that one a little bit. I'm going to go with save. Save your money, people.
Oh, shit. In the moment, Ricky's whole philosophy on life just changed. All right, maybe just a small part of it. But yeah, so this episode brought to you by being employed and having money to spend it on the things that you want or need to.
Being responsible.
To a degree. I mean, YOLO, right? YOLO. And then we'll get back to this episode. The rest of it is just your classic Fair Weather Friends with talking about random shit, mostly about our own podcast and what we should be doing that we aren't doing. And then hopefully there will be a video out to accompany this, depending on laziness.
Yes.
All right. Back to the show.
Check me out on Twitter. It's _ Rain City Sports.
Is that your handle?
Yeah.
What's your handle?
On Twitter?
It's vague or something.
Mine's LL Cool J, get at me.
Nice.
So you can get at me.
That's right. I always forget that and then I see that.
And
What is mine? How do you even see what yours is? I forget.
And you can also find
it's vague _ Bo Sox.
Nice.
I am a Red Sox fan also. And that was before I kind of... it's always 1A, 1B with Mariners and Red Sox, but now it's hardcore Mariners 1A for sure.
You were definitely more of a Red Sox guy in high school, and I always rooted hardcore.
I mean, it gets boring when you have to stop rooting for the team every time October comes around.
I feel like, too, I have other rooting interests. It's just not as strong as whatever the Seattle team is, right?
Yeah, I just they were a big influence when I was like 12 because Garcia Parra, my stepdad's from Massachusetts, so we had made a bunch of trips back there.
Freaking Ortiz.
Still never gotten to see a game in Fenway yet, but
oh man,
one day.
What's funny is my wife actually got to go, and I didn't have good enough grades to go. She went to high school, though.
Oh, the New York trip?
Yeah. She did for Ocean Bowl, which is ridiculous.
Oh, I forgot about that. I should have done that.
I was in it, and they were like just about to go, and then I had failed a class or something. And they're like, I got a D maybe even. And they're like, you can't go. And I'm like, son of a...
Have you been to any other stadiums?
Well, we did the San Diego.
Yeah, we went to Petco.
So Petco. I think that's all.
I went to PNC, which is in San Francisco, right?
Oh,
I've always wanted to go there.
It's super beautiful. It's
Maccabi Cove.
Yeah, it's amazing. We sat we paid $13 per ticket.
Nice.
And we sat just below the big wall, all the way up next to the field.
I grew up in the Bay Area. My first game was the A's game.
Nice.
Yeah.
That must have been
the classic McGuire, Henderson.
Oh,
all
nice.
those guys. Yeah.
You and the Lonely Island alike.
That's right.
Yeah, that was so that was fun. We go to Pittsburgh kind of often for my wife's work, so I want to go to that stadium. It looks pretty cool.
Pirates.
Yeah, but it seemed like the last several times we've been there, it's not been the right time. But
you gonna go to Heinz Field?
So you see that from the city, you can just look basically right into it.
That's where they shot Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the stadium.
Yeah.
So my wife was actually there in Pittsburgh for the Pittsburgh game. She was there working, and I was like, I should go and just go to the game.
That's right. Now I remember with Dark Knight. Yeah. They had a bunch of Steelers players too, like Roethlisberger and those guys were on the sideline, but they couldn't use official NFL gear, so they were just in random yellow jerseys.
Oh, okay.
But there was a whole bunch of Steelers players. The link, you go pee on the fence outside.
Get the Always Sunny. It would be terrible for me because I'm a Cowboys fan and they would all hate me, but it'd still be worth it just for the Always Sunny light.
Yeah. Pittsburgh fans seem pretty nice, actually, to me.
That's good.
I wore a Seahawks hat.
That's not Philly, though.
Stuff around. Oh, no, it's definitely not. But I didn't expect it, I guess. I don't know.
Also, Jared, I've got some kind of news that could affect the network that could be good. I might end up on a movie podcast with some random people from Facebook, one of the podcast groups.
Yeah.
Hopefully I can use that to promote our podcast.
So I mean the same kind of thing with the Metal Biker Dude thing. He joined he didn't join the network because I don't know, maybe eventually, but he's not in. I mean, he has way more followers than us, right? So
he's a lone wolf.
He's got 30,000 followers or something on YouTube.
Nice, that's big.
Yeah, so
get him to throw up like
he's got
a
Patreon, so
a Northern State
people-
podcasting graphic and like
exactly.
give him a sticker.
So maybe someday, I don't know. I don't think it's right off the bat, but we'll see how things go. I've been kind of helping him like get things posted and I don't know, created a little artwork and stuff for him. So.
Oh, also, if a certain person will ever decide to date me, her and her friend want to do a YouTube show / podcast.
Nice.
But I told her I can't help her do it unless we're dating because
naturally.
That's the whole point of the network.
Because I
you don't want to mix work and fun. We had I had a friend in jail that wanted to do it. Who wants to do an MMA podcast?
Hell yeah!
So
Renee will be on that one.
Yeah.
So I hope I hope whenever I find a different place to live, like I said, I can get that permanent setup, and then people can freaking have a key to my place and just use like you know what I mean, like and just come use the setup. And then I would get the mics, like if you're watching the video, Jared has the that hook to the table and hang, and you can move them around. I would definitely get those for that setup, and then all these little shitty mics you can see me and Ricky have. If you're watching, if we're even putting this part of the video out, don't know.
Yeah.
These little shitty mics can be just portable setup to take with. I've got the mixer too, the extra one that just holds one mic, but I have a splitter, so you can always do that with two people.
Yeah.
So people, if you want, like I said, we're trying to get people to do more podcasts with us. Maybe then we don't have to do ours as often.
Well, and I think it would be nice. I mean, that was the whole point of kind of doing the network, right? Is to like try to get people who wanted to try it out or whatever, just to get in there and get it. Like we're already paying for it, right?
Don't be shy, people.
So if you want to try it out, we have everything you need. Basically, you just have to.
If you all know me in real life, you know I'm the shyest person you're probably gonna meet, and I'm on a podcast.
And then I definitely want to do more stuff like. We were talking the YouTube channel being more of like separate videos, separate from the podcast, and then we kind of forgot about that, and we've just been posting our podcasts on there. I mean, they go on there automatically from Transistor anyway. But I would like to do more like Instagram live video. Actually do our story. I never do a story on Instagram. I never even think about it.
That's the only thing I ever do.
I do all the time. Yeah.
But so for our podcast, doing that because we never do stories on our podcast account, do we?
We don't do anything on our podcast.
Speaking of which, like I've been getting like almost 200 people almost daily, like watching my stories.
It's so weird how random.
Your personal story?
Yeah.
So we gotta start doing that.
Yeah,
definitely. It's like way more than any engagement I get on any photo.
One of my favorite Lakers of all time, Sasha Vujic, didn't know he had a little sister. She viewed my story. It's like,
yeah, exactly. It's super badass.
I don't know how people see stories.
I think it's like they've changed their system. Yeah, and it's been like,
or if you were commenting and they see that you have a story, they're gonna
because it doesn't even like. I don't know. It doesn't even like. It's not even if I hashtag or anything, or it's nothing. It doesn't really.
Well,
have
that's what I don't get how people find your stories who aren't
like,
following you.
Yeah, I don't know.
But apparently they do.
Yeah, I got like 300
I don't watch
views on the
anyone's.
last one, and it's just a song.
I don't watch anyone's stories.
Exactly. I'm like same kind of thing. Like, so I've been occasionally like.
Except whenever I watch stories, I'm just like.
No, I mean I do too a lot too. You're right.
Fast forward through them.
But you just have to hope that they're actually watching, I guess.
I guess.
And then you, Jared, are what am I saying? You're learning more. You're trying to learn more, teaching yourself more video stuff.
Yeah, well, because I've been doing the droning thing, and I like been putting things together and actually telling stories and like that kind of thing. Nice. So it's like changes a lot, like on what you're.
Me and Hoop from our skateboarding background have a pretty good.
Yeah, so that would be kind of the sort of thing, like
Yeah, Hoop is a video editor, man. He was good at it because he was doing it for skate videos. He's self-taught too.
Yeah.
Pretty much. We
as long as you
dabble,
have
but
like an easy program, not an easy program, but if you have
we have Premiere Pro, so
using,
it's kind of it's a little bit of a learning curve for sure, but I can put it together pretty easily. It's just I guess it's just like being able to think of the shots that are going to be the next part of the story or whatever you're trying to do. So that's the hardest part. Like to me, yeah,
we should have done a live video from Mopop. Like phones were allowed, we just no flashes. Like why didn't we do a story? We gotta start taking advantage.
Definitely done a story.
I have such a shitty phone that I don't.
Well, I know we had my phone. We could have done it on, which is good. And I just don't think like that. But we need to like be more.
Well, no, that
like you gotta be a brand now. This is the funny thing. I've been listen to a lot of comedians, and now I've kind of learned how the comedy world has changed. So like back in the day, because of what happened with like Seinfeld, it was like you got into comedy to try to get discovered to get a television show. And like remember Whitney Cummings had a show with
like the Workaholics guys.
Delia,
they started on YouTube.
Chris Delia. Yeah, but that was the whole point of being a stand-up comedian was to get a show. But now you start a YouTube channel to get a show. Comedians are just a brand. So now their whole thing is social media, online interaction. That leads to getting a special on like Netflix or something, and then all of a sudden you have yeah, you have a tour that sells out, and that's how they like. That's now the template. I think the same thing with podcasting. Who are the guys? Jesus or they got that show on like. They have a show now that they started as a YouTube show as the two dudes, Jesus and Mero.
Oh, Jesus and Mero.
Jesus and Mero,
the Bodega Boys.
And all they did was basically what we're doing right now. They sat at a table with a camera pointing at them and made a YouTube show. Started getting attention and got guests, and then it became an actual show they're getting paid to do. Which I mean, they were getting paid after a while on that.
I think
Showtime. That's what it was.
I think social media is like one of the main marketing tools anymore. Like, speaking of which, I just graduated college, by the way.
Oh shit!
So
we don't have a drink to.
It's finished. So I'm officially a marketing management major, which I don't know what that means, but
you guys got like shit to celebrate, and I'm just sitting here with. I did apply for an apprenticeship. I'm at that point.
That's a good start.
No, that's awesome.
You graduated how many years ago, though? So
it's only 6 years ago now.
It's only taken me like 14.
And I've done nothing with it. So, but at least you did it in something good.
Yeah.
At least you did it in something good that you're going to use, marketing, video, stuff like that. But yeah, so I'm saying you're getting better at doing videos and things. We need to start taking advantage and being more
that's
social media self-conscious.
Well, and I would like to, use you guys as kind of let's learn, like help me learn with that. Like I'll go take video of you skating and like go put it together and try to see what I can do. You know what I mean? Like
definitely
those kind of things. Like even the disc golf, like same kind of thing. I'm not sure if I want to carry that gimbal around the whole thing. But if I bring a backpack maybe or something, I don't know. It's just pretty heavy. Like it's a heavy setup to be able to like moving around, especially if I'm going to try to throw a frisbee.
Yeah.
The disc, well, we can hold it while you're throwing a disc and
it has a tripod,
film
so
you.
You could set it down again. But
I feel like that's become me and Ricky's like biggest hobby. Is we just go disc golfing and post pictures of that on our
pretty much.
Take a
quick action shot.
It's a good way to go.
But so we, because of this person not wanting to date me, I'm just like went all in a slump for a little bit. But because of that, I got all motivated to go do shit, which is why I went to Mopop. But what I really wanted to do, and we were talking about doing, and if we do it, obviously podcasting and making a video, is road trip to the Grand Canyon.
Yes.
Can you guys hear this? That's me jabbing the table. Now my mom's dog barking because she thinks somebody knocked. So it's like a 21-hour drive.
Yeah,
so now we got to figure out with Ricky's new schedule.
I've done the Vegas trip, driving to Vegas before, which was, pretty good.
Ricky, is that place Monday through Friday or is it Monday through Thursday?
Friday.
Monday through Friday. So we might have to do like a leave Friday night, be back by Sunday night. No, that didn't work. That was why I didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's because 2 days I did the math and I was like, nope.
Yeah, you're
I
driving
have to wait like 60 days.
All right, guys, be quiet. Let her bark so we can reduce the noise from it later. Oh, she fucking stopped. You gotta be kidding me. I wanted to get one good record if it can hear it. I don't know if the microphones are even picking it up.
Yeah.
Like later, I'm going to squeak this chair a bunch and record it so I can reduce that noise because I keep moving around.
Okay, so sorry to switch topics, but do you want to talk about movies for a minute?
Sure, yeah.
Talk what?
Movies.
Peanut Butter Falcon.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
You're the only other person that I know of.
That's because the name doesn't really give you.
It was a limited release as well.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Because it was one of those festival films that did so well that they're like, oh, we should put this out.
Yes. Yeah.
Because a lot of those only get released in like California and New York. I'm learning there's a lot of movies that only get released in New York and California on like a couple hundred theaters.
Well, I know that there's some theaters that like show like
now
more independent movies and stuff like that up in
Fathom
Bellingham.
events. If they're partnered with Fathom, they'll do more of the limited releases. Like that's how Jay and Silent Bob's getting released.
Huh.
And they're partnered up in Bellingham. So
it was I thought it was a great movie. Like
we talked about it a little bit on our
Great
podcast.
idea.
If anyone listens to that, sorry about the sound quality. It does get better about halfway through, which is weird. I don't know what changed or what happened there.
Yeah, I had no idea what the video was or what the movie was about. I was just like, oh, Shia LaBeouf's back.
Yeah, true. I saw like him on Hot Wings just recently, right?
Nice.
And that was part of the reason I was like, I gotta watch that, because. But also, it had pretty good ratings, like from Tomato or whatever.
Right. So I listen to Doug Loves Movies. So if you like movies, it's a really cool podcast because it's basically just comedians come on, they talk and joke around about what they're doing, and then they do trivia. But they always talk about what's the last movie you saw. And Benson goes to a lot of movie festivals, and so he'll bring them up. So another one he's talked about. So he's who I heard that from. And now the one he's talking about that people need to see when it comes out is Jojo Rabbit, which is like a kid has an imaginary friend that is Hitler. And apparently it's gotten some flack because they're like, Hitler's funny in it. He's not mean, but it's because it's that kid's imagination of what he thinks Hitler would be like. And he doesn't really know. He just knows of Hitler and has seen pictures. He's like, oh, this is what.
It was his post that said,
so I guess it's really funny.
Favorite movie of the year started with J.O., but it wasn't Joker.
Nice. Yeah, I haven't heard good things about it.
So did you know what the storyline for that was going to be at all?
I had read like a small description about it, but I didn't know, I hadn't seen a preview or anything.
I was the same as Ricky. I was like, oh, I heard Shia LaBeouf's really good.
Yeah, I seen one preview while I was in jail, and I was like, oh man, I'm probably going to miss that. And then,
you saw it more than I did. Yeah, I just heard them say, yeah, Shia LaBeouf's really good in this, and it's really good. And I was like, okay.
Of course he's really good in it.
And it's one of those things where, when you respect someone's opinion, you just, take it and you're like, okay, you say that's good, I'm going to go check it out.
So then I went and saw Ad Astra also, or As. Ad
Astra, yeah. That actually...
it looked okay, but...
then Tommy Lee Jones and Brad Pitt.
Yeah, exactly. But it was just...
I know, how do you go wrong?
It was not good. I mean, basically, the whole movie is him trying to find Tommy Lee Jones, because Tommy Lee Jones is his dad, and he went missing. And it turns out that he tried to blow up everybody and kill the world, because in the movie, I think it must be set in the future. I missed the first 5 minutes, honestly. So it sounds like it's set in the future because he first gets on a jet or on a rocket and he flies to the moon, and it's a plane ride. They're giving him blankets and they're saying
Airplane 2?
Yeah. I don't know what that is, but...
Remember the old Airplane movie? They made number 2, which was on a shuttle going to, live on the moon.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's basically a regular...
So that's what it basically is. There's an Applebee's on the moon, and then he goes to Mars from there looking for his dad, and then... so basically the whole movie is him looking for his dad. Then he finds his dad, and then he kills his dad, and then that's the end of the movie, basically. So it's kind of
Spoiler alert!
Yeah, sorry, spoiler alert. But it's he doesn't kill his dad, but anyways, the point
You're not going to go watch it. Everyone has said it's terrible, so if you're listening to this...
Yeah, it's pretty... there wasn't a lot to it, I guess. Not a lot of depth, I guess, would be the best.
It's weird, because it looked like it.
Yeah.
Well, it's October. We got Halloween coming up. So speaking of movies, what's your guys' horror movie recommendation? If you had to tell somebody only one horror movie to watch...
I don't know if it's considered a horror movie, but...
Or one that's just my favorite.
Well, just one that if you were going to tell people, if you can only watch one, Halloween-y Halloween or horror movie.
Mine's People Under the Stairs. I love that movie.
I think I did see that.
It's Fool.
I remember that.
Weirdly, a couple years ago.
It's these people who adopt kids, and then they find something wrong with them and they chop it off, basically.
Ooh.
So one guy talks too much, so they cut his tongue off, and then another guy he steals stuff, so they cut his hand off, and then they throw him in the basement, and they all live in. So there's a whole bunch of kids in the basement.
I think it saw a sequel to that.
Oh yeah.
Yes, because I remember the people there was people. I remember that title.
It's super scary.
And the one I saw, that people were in the basement, but I didn't see any chopping off stuff. And
this kid and his uncle break into the house because they hear that they have a lot of money, and then
that is what I saw. I missed the whole concept of them adopting kids and chopping stuff off.
Oh, yeah.
Everything else about that, yes, I did see that.
So I thought it was a pretty cool movie. I watched it when I was a kid, but. I've watched it. I still own it, actually, to this day, but definitely my recommendation.
The one I would say, you can only watch it once, though, because Saw 1. Once you know what's going to happen, it's pretty much ruined. But
yeah. That's what kind of sucks. Some of the best movies in the world are not rewatchable.
Seeing that the first time, that shit was mind-blowing.
Yeah.
He was there the whole time? What the fuck's going on? But for rewatchability, I always go with Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
Just because I love how sarcastic and shit Freddy is.
Yeah.
A brutal rapist.
I want to throw a more recent one, a horror comedy, because we were talking about that earlier. This did not do well in theaters, which is crazy to me because the trailer looked awesome, and it is great, which is Here We Come.
Oh, yeah.
The hide and seek based one, and it's it's kind of a horror. There's no monsters, not gory, but it's people trying to murder people, so... I guess it's
realistic horror.
It's more of a thriller, I guess, but it's funny. It is a comedy. Because what movie we were talking about? How it's so hard to do a horror comedy.
If we're going horror comedy, Evil Dead.
That's right. That's what it was. It came up at Mopop when we were there. There was something about Evil Dead in there, and you were like, "Man,
Darkness was great." Bruce Campbell, that guy's awesome.
So if you're listening to this, hit up any of the three of us or our message on Instagram. Northern State Podcasting or Fairweather Friends or me or Ricky or Jared's personal accounts. Give us some movie recommendations. What should we watch for this Halloween? Haley, you're probably not listening to this, but she's trying to watch a horror movie for each day, right? 31 horror movies. So she's been posting to us pictures of movies she's watched.
That's cool.
Garrett's a big Chucky guy.
That's right. He was Chucky for Halloween last year.
He's not a big Chucky reboot guy.
That's the other one. I thought the It remakes were really good. I need to watch the originals. That's what I should watch this year. The originals. Matt's got them on tape. Do you have a VHS player?
No, we got a DVD player.
Is it on? Is it on DVD?
It on DVD.
Oh, okay.
Guys just need to go fire TV and hook it up.
We do have a projector at the house.
Oh, should do a movie night. Well, anything else you guys want to bring up here? We're got a little bit of time before we got to go out and play some disc golf while the sun is still out and it's not
30 degrees outside?
Yeah, it's in the 50s, thankfully, now, but winter's coming.
For sure.
Winter's always coming. Damn it, I didn't even mean to go Game of Thrones on there, but it really is coming. Unlike Game of Thrones, we know, because it's the same time every year. It's not like 10 years between. Yeah, Ricky doesn't even know what I'm talking about.
Nope.
Yeah, in Game of Thrones, the summer, it's only summer and winter, and they never know how long either's going to last.
Huh.
Another weird part of that show.
I never knew exactly why it was winter's coming, or I never knew exactly that part of it, I guess. I didn't know that it was summer for so long. They make it sound like it's, like it doesn't happen very
But it's also a double entendre or whatever, if it also means bad shit always is eventually going to happen.
Yeah, that's kind of what I think it
is really the bigger thing.
Do we wrap it up? What about NFL predictions or NBA? Or should we?
I'm not ready for NBA predictions, but we should do. We should try to do a preview. Yeah, big way to go out on a limb there. Who would have guessed Ricky would? At least they're actually good this year.
I think actually
prediction last year came true.
We should try to do a preview. We got 2 weeks though.
I was the only.
That's all we got before the NBA season starts.
Okay, so we can
probably.
Oh shit!
And hey,
I was one of very few people that picked the Raptors to win last year.
Yeah, we did our preview last year. And you nailed it.
I have to do it remotely if I'm going to do it after this, I guess.
That's fine.
Out of town.
We got Skype.
Yeah, for sure.
That'll be our 1 year anniversary, Ricky, of podcasting.
That's pretty cool.
The opening day of the NBA season. I don't know
for that.
I'm sure the opening day won't be the exact same day as it was last year. But yeah, that was the first day we did any podcast. We did 2 episodes that day because we procrastinated it by 2 weeks and had to jam the preview in because we did a quick 30-minute thing hey, we're podcasting now and here's the stuff we're gonna talk about, and then we did a 2-hour long. We copied Bill and who does he do it with over-unders with House?
Oh yeah,
I think so.
Where they look at the Vegas odds for the over-unders for each team, and we went through all of them.
Yeah, I remember that.
Which takes a long time.
So the other thing we should definitely do is maybe predict the MLB the rest of the way because it's playoffs.
I don't even care.
You don't care?
Or MLB or NFL?
MLB.
MLB?
As long as the Astros and Yankees don't win.
I would say
which
Yankees
is the odds are not good that neither of them will win.
Yankees over Cardinals.
I don't even know who's in it in the National League except the Nationals.
It's Cardinals and Nationals.
Oh yeah, we're on
the end. That's the reason
they go so quick. Yeah.
Only because I seen the Cardinals coach give that speech yesterday.
Yeah.
They can't keep up with us.
I'll go for the Nationals just because the Ewing theory thing, and that means no Yankees or Astros.
Well, and if the Nationals make it, the Mariners will be the only MLB team not to ever play in the World Series. So.
Oh shit! I shouldn't root for that. There's so many things I don't want to happen. The Twins was the only team I hoped, and that was just because Nelson Cruz was there.
I'm still probably rooting for the Astros, partially because if they win, then maybe their urgency to be so good will drop a little bit.
They'll go
they've got a pretty good standard going so far.
Yeah, exactly. They're not. And they're going to lose their they're going to lose some good players.
They can't afford to keep all those guys forever.
Yeah, so that's part of it.
Verlander's not going to last forever though.
No, but I think Cole's a free agent after the year, I think. So I don't know. Anyways.
Yeah, they only signed him to a 1 year deal, right?
I think he was.
2-year deal because it was 2 years ago.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's where I guess my hope is. I don't want the Yankees to win just because I never do.
All right, and then I guess we'll try to do an NFL or an NBA preseason or preview and an NFL midseason.
For sure.
So you can definitely be on either of those. We'll have to have Hoop for the NFL. Well, we can try. He always let's pod. He always says we should pod when we go over there and watch football. But then it doesn't happen. And then when we actually invite him, hey, we should pod, he has other things. So he does. They get a new house. His kid's in football. So hopefully we'll have hoop on for that one because it's always fun. He gets real heated, which means I get real heated, which is always fun.
Nice.
That's the only problem with me and Ricky.
It's true.
It's the only problem with our dynamic. Is
I remember you guys getting heated listening to you guys.
Me and Ricky are too level-headed. We rarely disagree enough to get mad at each other and like start yelling.
Disagree, it's something so outlandish that you're just like
you're usually just trying to troll me. Which hey, you know what? Do it. You should do it. I'll sit and argue with you, and you just keep trolling me. And I'm like, God, yeah, I know you're trolling me. You're just trying to get me heated, but have some reason, man.
Yeah.
Damn Seahawks penalties and shit. That and then NFL. I would love to live stream during games again because we had like a couple hundred views on our live stream from last year. Nice. But we only ended up doing the one game. Like we kind of planned to do it more. And if you have a good camera, it'll be better.
Well, actually, we could probably hook it up to this one.
I would say if we can hook it up to a laptop, that's all we do. Yeah, and we live streamed.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, we live streamed the Seahawks Cowboys right out there in the living room.
Hey, so you talked the whole time?
Mostly, we ate. Like people were going on and off camera. Hoops family was over there.
You can't show the game, so you just have to talk about it.
Yeah,
I gotcha.
So we commented on it, and people started chatting with us.
We're like the announcers. If you don't want to listen to Joe Buck, and
it's like
that's how I told people advertise it on Facebook.
The fight companions that they do. It's just a game companion. If you'd rather listen to somebody else.
And apparently, there's people that like search YouTube for those things to check them out because we had random people. Like I said, we had over 200 views. TV,
honestly, like if you don't have the channel to watch sports, like. Then maybe that's what you do.
Maybe the NBA will get banned in China.
I mean, a lot of times I use Twitter. Like when I didn't have TV and I was doing that, I would just be like, use Twitter and like watch that, and you could do the same thing. But even then, it wasn't as quite as good. I mean, it's not play by play by any means. It's like when something big.
It's hard to do play by play. He was trying to keep up, but
me. Oh, I tried it first, and I was like, I can't do play by play. But then we would just. I mean, you're assuming people are watching, so it's like if you're just discussing what just happened. You don't need to give like, oh, this guy did this and that guy did this and then this happened. You can just be like, holy shit, that guy definitely caught it. What are they talking about now? Or that was no penalty. A lot of cussing. I can't not. I get it from my mom.
Yeah.
I want to get her
I'm
on
emotional
one.
wreck during CX games for sure. The rest of the
I
time,
don't think I've ever watched the game with him. Have you ever watched the game with him?
Nah, probably not.
We watched that one game.
Oh, this is a podcast. No. I'm shaking my head.
But it wasn't like anybody we were invested in.
No, that doesn't count. Yeah, no, it's a Seahawks is different.
Oh, and we had the game just on in the background while we were...
Even on Thursday night.
We went out and got pizza that one time.
Oh, yeah, there was just random game. Was that NBA games on? Or?
Was it the Cougs?
No.
It was either the Cougs or the Huskies.
Maybe.
Because it wasn't like a...
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I didn't remember it being a team that any of us actually cared about.
Yeah, that's what...
But
we should have talked about the Huskies and Cougars, but we can wait till next time.
Oh, yeah, we didn't go to college. We still did almost an hour.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's fun.
You can't have us on as guests and still do 45 minutes or less. Not going to happen.
No, that's, I mean...
on Rain City Sports.
I mean, that matters only when I'm doing it weekly, honestly. Like, to me, that's the time, like... Just because I don't... Like, people drive a lot of times and listen to it or whatever, you know, and I'm like, I don't want to take up too much time, I guess is the best way to say it. Like, I don't know.
If you're still listening to this and you really just cared about the sports stuff, that whole first half will be on Rain City Sports, and that's Jared's podcast that is just the sports stuff. It's usually a little shorter because it's just him.
Most of the time. Not the last several times, but...
Yeah, but so, just so you know, this full thing will be obviously on our channel.
Yeah.
And then I'm ready to eat some pizza.
Yeah, me too.
So I'm going to say, keep your friends close, and your fair weather friends even closer.
And I gotta say hi, Nico.
Yeah, see you later.